5773 released 7th Cavalry during the Indian War duration in 1873, Colt introduced the well-known Model 1873, likewise referred to as the Single-Action Army, the Colt. 45 inches, not to be puzzled with Colt-made designs of the M1911 semi-automatic, or merely, the Peacemaker, among the most famous pistols ever made. It is still in production, along with many clones and lookalikes, and its overall look has actually stayed the exact same given that 1873. Although initially made for the United States Army, the Model 1873 was extensively distributed and popular with civilians, ranchers, lawmen, and outlaws alike. Its design has influenced many other revolvers. In the U.S., the standard single-action revolver still reigned supreme up until the late 19th century. In Europe, however, arms makers fasted to embrace the double-action trigger. While the US was producing weapons like the design 1873, the Europeans were developing double-action designs like the French MAS Modle 1873 and the rather later British Enfield Mk1 and 2 revolvers. Britain count on cartridge conversions of the earlier BeaumontAdams double-action prior to this. Smith & Wesson M&P revolver in 1889, Colt introduced the design 1889, the very first genuinely modern double-action revolver, which varied from earlier double-action revolvers by having a swing-out cylinder, instead of a top break or side-loading cylinder. Swing-out cylinders quickly caught on, due to the fact that they combined the finest features of earlier styles. Side loaders, like the earlier Colt Model 1871 and 1873, gave a rigid frame, however required the user to inject and load one chamber at a time, as they rotated the cylinder to line each chamber up with the side-mounted loading gate. Smith & Wesson followed 7 years later on with the hand injector, design 1896 in. .38 unique cartridge. The design 10 went on to end up being the very best-selling pistol of the 20th century, at 6,000,000 systems, and the .38 unique is still the most popular chambering for revolvers worldwide. These new guns were an improvement over the Colt 1889 design given that they integrated a combined center pin and ejector rod to lock the cylinder in position. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.